as I envelop in the strong, loving, and all-encompassing, creative, soothing light and energy of the Divine Mother. After a very immersive meditation this morning, I feel truly healed on all levels, and I affirm that I would carry this true, unconditional love light throughout the day and hopefully throughout the weeks. Then I also reflected after that on how wonderful it would be if we were all enveloped in this level and form of true love in our daily lives and in our recreation and working states. Truly unconditional, with no strings attached, free of all aspects of any competition and overt and subtle worldly divisiveness. So I would like to reflect on this now, especially with the holiday of Valentine's, near the time I am discussing this, which is considered the day of, quote, love. Now, I have mentioned before, including with some other videos on Conscious Awakening Network, about the Divine Mother Spirit, and also getting in touch with Mother Earth, who will transform even more to the true spirit of Gaia. In various recent meditations and expansions, I found even more profoundly the immersion into the essence of this universal Mother Spirit. Really felt cushioned and buoyed by this presence. More deep levels of energies were released, and I felt as light as a feather. There was an ebb and flow like a soothing wave and true deep peace. I envisioned how the crystalline light and golden light of the individual suns interacted with each other, and also how the spirit of Earth or Gaia readily accepts these divine and light energies into her being. She never shields and rejects, but always absorbs this light, which then infuses her core energy, and even more of this emerald green light arises up. And remember, this energy would be in harmony, for the most part, with the surface and inhabitants of this planet, if it weren't for the ley lines being negativized and the grids and areas being affected by all the explosions, drilling, mining, industrialization, pollution, and different types of experiments that are carried out. So most of the earth changes and eruptions are affected first of all by the damaging results of the negative power group activities, groups. Sure, there are changes in the sun and other system and galactic energies, but these could be harmonized with the surface if we would spend just more time money, and energy with being more aware and in harmony with the planet we inhabit at the time, with working and existing with the elemental laws and forces, and having an open enough consciousness to plan ahead for any cosmic changes. But this is a program used by the negative, unlove forces to make us think that we must fear Mother Gaia and the Divine Mother. In fact, a lot of the weather patterns are being affected by these negative experiments. And there is much negative programming with other situations also to keep us entangled in the web of more conditional situations in both direct and indirect ways. Even the type of foods that many eat during the holiday times especially are designed to adjust serotonin, dopamine, and other levels, which give us a sense of false fulfillment for the moment. So there are many false programs that are so ingrained in the soul, nervous system, and mind that can hinder that feeling of true love. And many light workers, including those on this platform, have techniques, wisdom, and knowledge to help some to untangle this false love and this false love web. And I have several harmonious healing modalities which you can find on my website, mountainspiриthealing.com and mountainspirithealing.org. And again, that's mountainspirit-healing.com and mountainspirithealing.org. Now, there are really both seen and unseen layers to this situation. Real truth and discernment are also the keys to flow with this. For there are many agendas on the world stage today. And there is even some false love in some of the quote high vibe groups and communities. So overall, unless one is in real connection with Source, Self, and really feels the essence of light and love, along with keeping a sharp mind, things can get tricky, especially with tempting diversions. However, as I have mentioned before, a preventive and direct way to receive the love and empowerment is to go to the true source yourself and to be in the Christ light. And there have been several souls or beings that have lived on this planet, besides the considered masters, that exemplify this unconditional, elevated light. The first one that I think of, besides some of the masters, is Mary Magdalene. Now, Mary Magdalene is becoming quite popular in some circles these days, and there are several experts on the history of her life with whom you can get in contact with. And also there are several stories and angles on who she really was and what she represented. What I would like to touch on is her real dedication and what appears to me to be that in many instances there was much unconditional love shown. Again, there are different opinions and information on what she was, but it has been proven with older texts that instead of being a working prostitute, she was a spiritual person and perhaps a practicing priestess before she met Jesus. And also, she came from a more wealthy family. So she didn't have to work or go along with the disciples. She could have just enjoyed the fruits of being wealthy, but instead joined the disciples with spreading the word in a time of strong Roman occupation and many strong negative forces on several levels at the time that would have been really against the group and was. But what really stood out in my mind was both the spiritual and daily support that she gave them. So it was a true service without payment. In fact, with her family having money, it was noted that she was probably a patroness of the movement. But also, she was faithfully there, near the Master, while serving his food and walking close with the other Marys. Perhaps the one who was washing his feet, and rushing to Golgotha with the crucifixion and resurrection. And she remained at Golgotha there until the end. She went quickly to the burial site to anoint. And she was an example of this love and faith and perseverance. Another one of my favorites is St. Francis. He also came from a wealthy family and was very well liked in his community at first. He was in one of the wars even for a while and was injured, and then was also in the Crusades for a short time. But while doing this, he got the divine message to leave and begin to converse with God. He was labeled a coward for leaving the war and crusades for this, and his growing dedication to the church at that time also caused conflict with his earthly father. He even had a run-in with the bishop at the time, and ended up stripping all of his clothes off and going into the freezing forest and joy singing. So even though he could have lived a comfortable life previously, he continued to walk around talking about God and even sleeping outside sometimes. His goodwill was to live a life of detachment, to break free of everything that one can hold on to in this earthly existence. And what he is more known for is he felt that nature and all of God's creation were part of the brotherhood. Again, This is an example of unconditional love that in turn most animals will show time and time again. There have been many instances where animals have shown a form of altruism like amongst themselves, where an animal from another species who wouldn't typically be an ally would help out another animal. A more modern time spiritual leader that was all about realizing God and practicing true unconditional love in daily life is Yogananda. He truly exemplified the Christ spirit, even in the times of modern wars. He believed in our own motivation to free ourselves from illusion through wisdom. A strong adherent to meditation, he believed that God does answer silently through his laws. This is not a cold, distant religious relationship, but a close personal one with the divine. He also felt that delusion is destroyed by good company. One of his favorite quotes is, "Get away from the ocean of suffering." And another one is not to be immersed in the lesser loves of the earth realm. For every minute is precious. So by practicing these tenets of real love, we are unraveling the cords of much conditional love. And when you are attuned more, you cannot be bribed as much. Where there is gossiping or fighting, just leave. And to truly live by principles, instead of just talking about them, daily devotion helps to have the connection to be strengthened. However, even when not feeling connected, we can practice true love. It has been noted that Mother Teresa went for years without feeling the inspiration really, and with being ill herself, but she kept on pressing on. And we must remember to honor all those mothers and fathers and those in relationships who show or try to exemplify unconditional love, often, even when they may be misunderstood and not appreciated in the moment. And also the frontliners and behind the scenes people who provided their services and support and valor during the most recent and past worldly global health situations and catastrophes. Even if they were considered paid employees or not, they often went over and above to help others. So, and also to honor the strong activists and leaders such as Martin Luther King and Gandhi, who not only showed the activism and bravery, but also much unconditional love. It also helps if in your daily reflection and any meditations that you do dwell in true love. Some will even envision, after they are grounded and get in touch with their earthly mother, that they also expand their spiritual energy, heart center out, and can envision like a rosy gold, and then really dwell in this love energy, and possibly even to go further to expand out even more to wherever your consciousness goes and flows. This could be to immerse in the Divine Mother Spirit, the angelic realms, or even feel the source energies. It is good to do this meditation in a group also, to really amplify this unconditional love light and what we are truly all about at our core.